Mendoza Learning Hub, ABAP for SAP HANA, improvements in the hardware and software architecture. The SAP HANA database presents improvements in the hardware architecture. It now presents a multi-core architecture with 8 to 16 CPU cores per blade. It also supports parallel scaling with many blades. In relation to the address space, it has a 64-bit address space with 4 TB in current server boards. There is also a dramatic decline in price to make it more accessible for everyone. SAP HANA also presents improvements in the software architecture. Some of the major improvements are data compression, table partitioning, avoidance of aggregate tables, insert only on delta, and row and column storage in database tables. SAP now gives you the option to choose between row and column storage. This new feature can be found on SAP Transaction SE11 when you create or modify a transparent table. We'll look more into it on later videos. I mentioned insert only on delta before, but what does it mean? HANA is insert only. What does this mean to you as an ABAP developer? In the column store, HANA will only insert data. That is, whenever you update or delete data, HANA will just insert. For performance reasons, the column store is divided in a main and a delta part. New data is going to the delta and will be merged frequently to the main. Changing statements work as follows. Insert. An insert statement will just insert a new record in the delta. The merge process will move the record from delta to main. Delete. A delete statement will select the record and make it as invalid by setting a flag for main or delta. The merge process will delete the record from memory once there is no open transaction active for it anymore. And the update. An update statement will insert a new version of the record. The merge process will move the latest version from delta to main. Old versions will be deleted once there is no open transaction active for them anymore. The update therefore consists internally of an insert plus a delete. ABAP for SAP HANA transformation. ABAP for SAP HANA has gone through 3 major stages. At the beginning, ABAP could only access SAP HANA. Improvements were made, and on a second stage, ABAP could run on SAP HANA. This was for the SPS05 release with the SAP NetWeaver application server on ABAP version 7.31. Finally, on the last stage, ABAP was optimized for HANA on the SPS06 release running the application server ABAP version 7.4. With the new ABAP features for SAP HANA, we can now produce optimized ABAP applications. Let's recap a little bit about SAP system architecture. We have the SAP GUI, or a browser-based GUI that connects to the SAP NetWeaver application server ABAP version 7.4 or higher. And the SAP NetWeaver application is in constant communication with the SAP HANA database. We now have ABAP applications using SAP HANA. So, following the ABAP development guidelines, we can produce more optimized applications. These guidelines consist of improved tools for performance analysis, extensions to ABAP and Open SQL, features for SAP HANA-oriented programming, and reuse components optimized for SAP HANA. With all of these guidelines, we can produce transparent optimizations for all ABAP developments. The new ABAP for HANA features in SAP NetWeaver 7.4 SP5 are the following. There are now improved tools for performance analysis. The SQL Performance Worklist transaction SWLT allows you to correlate SQL runtime data with ABAP code analysis to plan optimizations using results from the new SQL Monitor and Code Inspector. Extensions to ABAP and Open SQL. Open SQL has been enhanced with new features, especially a lot of limitations have been removed. The join functionality has been enhanced, as have been arithmetical and string expressions. Moreover, a new Open SQL syntax has been presented with incorporations, for example, the escaping of host variables, comma separation of the field list, and so on and so forth. Features for SAP HANA-oriented programming. We now have the Core Data Services CDS view building. ABAP CDS provides a framework for defining and consuming semantic data models on the central database of the application server. The specified data models are based on the Data Definition Language, or a DDL, and the Data Control Language, or a DCL. In particular, ABAP CDS entities are data models based on the DDL. The specifications are managed by the ABAP dictionary. Currently, the following types of ABAP CDS entities are supported: ABAP CDS views and ABAP CDS table functions. The ABAP Managed Database Procedures, or the AMDP. The AMDPs enables you to create database procedures directly in ABAP using, for example, SQL script, and to seamlessly integrate it in modern ABAP developments. And an AMDP can be implemented using an ABAP method. These are new ABAP features for HANA. So let's start digging a little bit deeper, and let's start talking about row store versus column store on the next lesson. We will log into a SAP NetWeaver application server connected to a SAP HANA database to explore this new feature.